Okay, so it looks like we're live. I think YouTube was struggling a little bit. It's a tiny bit dark in here, but it should be okay for these purposes, especially since I'm going to be showing or sharing my screen. All right, so here's what we have. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Yeah, looks actually perfect for what I want to do today, because today I just want to talk about the quick start side of this. So I'm calling this the ADHD prosthetic memory version 5, and it represents a dramatic departure from version 4 and previous versions. Not that important right now, but the main target or focus goal of this is to deliver information to my future self, or you could even look at it as receiving information from my previous self. There's a spoiler alert on this slide, because the goal is one place that has everything I need to know. And the spoiler is that you can see a picture of my phone's lock screen. And how do we do it? Like, how do you get everything you need to know onto your phone's lock screen? Well, the first part of it is to capture everything in Gmail. Uh, Period. And then every morning I review my Gmail inbox and I snooze anything that is not actionable today. Um, and I have an example, like I don't need to vacuum until this weekend. Um, um, they're, for the most part, these are going to be new things. So as you go through your day, you just capture whatever you need to remember in Gmail, um, and don't do anything with it. Just leave it there. If there is something that you need to remember and act on today, that's outside of the scope of this, but I can tell you very easily what to do as an aside. Um, in that case, you are by definition talking about something that is either immediately actionable or needs to be done today at some later time. So what I recommend is to you can still put it in your Gmail inbox. And that is what I do. I am what I would consider to be an advanced user. There's a lot to this system far beyond Quick Start, but the focus of Quick Start is to never forget anything again, and to have the information you need to have when you need to have it, or when or before, at the earliest possible time or something conceivable time that you're going to need it. However, let's say you do need to act on something today, you can still follow this process. Capture it in Gmail. Then you would want to go into Gmail, especially if it's after your morning review, and then do the same thing. You would copy it to the calendar, which is the next bullet. So you have two things that you're doing in the morning. One is snoozing things that are not actionable today. And then the things that are must-dos for today go into the calendar. I'm going to clarify this for today. So in the case anyway, that is an exception, okay? How do I even come up with these exceptions? It's because I talked about a corner case, which is, oh, I need to remember something for today. Don't need to talk about that. So here is the system. Capture everything in Gmail. Review your Gmail inbox every morning. Snooze anything that is not actionable today. So for example, I don't have to vacuum until this weekend. Not the best practical sort of example, because you would probably already have that set up. And even if you don't, it could be something like you just decided that you want to vacuum every weekend. Okay, so you could have captured that in Gmail, and then the next morning it's like, oh yeah, I want to vacuum every weekend. And then it is at that point that you can then snooze it till the weekend. Let's say it's Tuesday. So it is an okay. It is an okay example. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Just look at your inbox items. Anything that is not actionable today, and I don't mean that it has to be done today. It's just actionable today, like it's possible to complete today. And so if you can't do it today, get it out of your way. Okay. In fact, let's do this. Let's do it this way. It's not ideal because of the way the alignment is. So snooze anything that cannot be acted on today. You get the idea. Now, that's the first thing. Second step, so there's only 2 steps. Second step, copy any must-dos for today over to your calendar. And while you're in there, while you're in Gmail, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna open up the Gmail task or whatever you want to call it, and you're to copy and paste the text over to calendar. While you're in there, you're going to open up the Gmail. You're going to task switch over or go into the calendar app, paste into a new event. And then when you come back to Gmail, you can then snooze that for tomorrow. And snoozing that for tomorrow is really all about like a safety net, so because you'll see that item tomorrow and you'll be able to confirm that it was done. You'll also, since you're opening up to, this is more information than you need to know, but it's just like some design explanation so that you kind of understand what the thinking behind the design, because when you open up your Gmail, that is when you open up a Gmail, it marks it as read, right? READ. So that when you do snooze it for tomorrow, it's going to be read and not instead of unread. So you will be able to automatically identify. You will know the items that were scheduled versus the items that are in your inbox and actionable. So you'll be able to identify those. Doesn't matter, okay? But again, it's just a little bit of context around why this is exactly the workflow how this is exactly why this is the workflow that kind of has evolved over the years. And it's taking into consideration reliability, basically workflow, things that happen automatically, like these items just happen. You just happen to be opening these items, copy and paste over to calendar, and then it's just automatic that you're going to have an artifact that will indicate that this was something that was scheduled, and it's because the process of scheduling it involves opening it up and snoozing it, and that means it's going to be read, R-E-A-D. Okay. And then what this does is this is just a note. This third bullet is just a note, because what this results in, aside from getting things out, well, basically you're getting things out of your way that you can't work on today, and you're also getting things out of your way in the Gmail inbox that are taken care of by the calendar. And so what this does is it leaves your actionable, non-must-do tasks in the inbox. And then you can always pull work from there whenever you want. And the great thing about that is that they are all things that you really should be able to do. If you can't do them, then it's demotivating and it just generates more executive function. And that's why it's really important to schedule stuff that's a must do. Now, the reason we're scheduling things, the must do's, is to get us this, which is this one place that has everything I need to know. Okay. Now, if my lock screen is blank, that means I have carte blanche, right? I use the word carte blanche. But it also means that you can then go and you can pick off a few things out of your Gmail inbox, those non-must-dos. You can pick those off. Like for me, I always have one that's called kitchen. It's not on here, but it's called like the kitchen, or cleaning the bathrooms, or sweeping the floor. I mean, those are things that they just seem to always need to be done. And so they're in there, and they are things, the kitchen, the bathrooms, and the floors are all things that I can see. You can also add the trash to that, but the trash is kind of part of the kitchen. I can see these things, but I will not do them. I just will not do them. I don't know why. And that's why it's nice to have them in the Gmail inbox, so I can just kind of pick those off, right? All right. So, so now then, like once you do those things, you're set up for the day. And that's probably worth clarifying, right? So after you go through your inbox review, now you're set up for the day. There's nothing else you need to do. Everything you need to know will be on your lock screen. Everything you need to do or can do, will be also in your Gmail inbox for those things you can pull, those non-urgent things. Let me back up a second. Let's not get into details. So in addition to things being on your lock screen, you're also going to get audio visual alerts for your events. Okay. While you're on your lock screen, you have this menu of things that you can do. Now, these things, some of these things are all at the same time. As you can see, it's 9:44. And you can see these things each say 14 minutes ago. So that means that they were all set at 9:30. Oh, it says 9:30. You can see them. They're today at 9:30. Okay. You may be able to work these from the top to bottom, but there's only 5 things here. So I can look at these things and say, drinking water. Oh yeah, that's right. I want to get kind of another glass of water. I want to get an extra glass of water in today. Paying my rent. I need to do that. Cooking chicken. There's a mindfulness kind of reminder in here. There's this reminder also that the air conditioning guy might be coming. Actually, he's not coming today. I know that. So that one I can take off Yeah, I have him on here. But I know because he just came by, so I know tomorrow's going to be the earliest I see him again because he needs to get a part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete. Actually, I could delete it, or I could just move it up because he did actually come here at 1 o'clock or in the 1 o'clock hour. So I'm just going to move it up just to kind of get it out of my way. But I also know that that I know tomorrow it's going to show up because if I go to tomorrow, I can see it in my snoozed items. Okay. I didn't have to do that though because my process is to take things from Gmail, put them into the calendar, and then snooze them until tomorrow. And then in the morning, I will see all of these things. And so I'm able to contain or compartmentalize my executive function kind of energy to like condensing it into that time of day because I'm a morning person. I'm heavily caffeinated in the morning, and it just makes sense. Okay, so now let's go back here. Now, while I think I already mentioned this, so when you have your lock screen, you're looking at these things, and as you complete these items, you can swipe left. I say left swipe, but I can say swipe left on, right? You can swipe left on lock screen notifications when they're complete. That'll get it out of your way. The cool thing though is that a record, your record, or if you want to think about it as an activity log, gets preserved. It's hard to look at the calendar. First of all, it's hard to look at the calendar, an entire calendar. I can't do it. I only want to see what's going on right now. Okay. And I'm going to say that this way, right now. Okay. I'm going to put that leave that like that because that's critical. Or this hour is basically what I do. So what happens is these items right now are things I need to know now. Let me see if I can cheat. Almost. Single. Whatever. Okay. Can I cheat and do that? That won't even work. Okay. This is just ugly. No, I'm not doing that. Okay. Whatever. I can cheat and do this, right? Get this sharing thing out of my way. Let's go one down. There we go. Let's just do it that way. All right, get this out of the way. Okay, and so that's what I want to know, what I need to know now. And for me, that's pretty much almost exclusively the current hour. So like, where are we in now? We're in the 1 o'clock hour. The 1 o'clock hour is from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Okay. And so what is it that I need to be aware of with that? Okay. And that's what is on my lock screen. That's what's here. Anyway, so as I complete things or I no longer need to see them, I can swipe left on them, but I can still retain an activity log, like a history of what I was doing and how I'm spending my time, so that when somebody asks me, hey, what did you do today, or what's going on, neurotypical people, that's so normal for them. It's like, hey, what's going on, what's new? And I'm just like, I have no idea, and I've always been that way. I don't know why. I blamed myself for not remembering things. And so now I can be like, I don't know, let me look. And it's like, people really do accept that. Like, my kids know that I am a total space cadet. I mean, just absolutely. They know. Now, why is this? Here we go. Okay. So they totally know this. What in the absolute? Okay. And so, but nowadays, like, as I improve this prosthetic, it's like, wow, what have I been up to? And it's no big deal that I just pull up my calendar and say, oh yeah, this, and oh, by the way, I wanted to remind you of that. And there are some advanced parts of the system that go far beyond this, but this quick start is really like, how do I start remembering stuff now? And this is about 90% of what you will ever need to remember things. Okay. And so you swipe left, your record activity is going to be, I just have to put these together. Let me just do it now. Let's not do that. So basically what you do is you swipe left on the notifications when, let's see, hang on a second. Yeah, so all you need to do is swipe left on these notifications to kind of get them out of your way as you complete them, right? And so you will see these items go away, and eventually, and you might get all of them done, and then your screen is blank, and then you can decide to have some fun, do something different, take a break, or just depending on your circumstances, if you're looking for something to do, you can go right to your Gmail inbox, because it's filled, hopefully not full, but it contains things you can do now, today. And so it's a great way just to have things at your fingertips that you can pick off. A great thing about that, as a little bit of an aside, is I found myself playing guitar and checking Reddit like I'd be at work, and I work from home. So I'll be at work and I'll run something on my computer that I have to wait for. It takes a while to process. And so I immediately just go to Reddit and start Redditing, right? Or I'll go and I'll pick up my guitar. And that's fine. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that, except when I started to realize, like, if you add up all that time, it's a lot. And I could go and I could empty the dishwasher. I could wipe off the counter. I could just do little things that really add to my life, if even just to feel like I have more control, and to keep that to-do list from accumulating. Just keeping it under control. There's a guy on Reddit. There's so much wisdom out in Reddit, honestly. You just have to find it, or you just have to kind of run into it. But this one guy said that he was kind of scared. It would be a problem if he ever actually got everything done and had nothing to do. It scares him. And I kind of understand that, although I have a lot of hobbies and things that can take my time, but it's a little different. I actually do feel kind of a little empty, it's a little awkward, particularly if that anxiety is not there. So like, you don't have this anxiety now, and it's like, but now what the hell do I do with my life, kind of thing. So anyway, I digress. So here's another thing, and this one's kind of important because events can be delayed. And I never told you exactly where to put these things in the calendar. What I do when I add my must-dos to my calendar, I put them as early as they can be done. I don't want to confuse people with this though. Because you're cascading them. Let's do it this way. These events can be delayed. Let's do it like this. I've got the perfect solution. Okay. Can I go ahead and throw this over here? I know it's not ideal. Actually, that's pretty good. It's good enough for now. And they match. Can I fit calendar event time? I don't think I need to. I think it's like anything in italics is a, Jesus, what is wrong with this? Oh, I see what's going on because it's sharing. So this is perfect because you only do these two things. And I recommend the event. Event time should be the soonest that the information can be useful. And if you, like right now, let's look. Right now I have a meditation reminder. I'm about to get an advanced thing. I've got drinking water, which I talked to you about already. And then I have this reminder that I can go to the library or the pool. Now, the reason for that is that my air conditioning is out, which is totally thrown off my day. And along with other things too. I've been on kind of on vacation, but working. It's a shit show. But now something just popped up, and it's called need to punt anything, and this is that cascading process that I'm talking about. So I want to know everything I might need to know, as early as I might need to know it. Event time should be as soon as I might need to know something. I love that. That's it. And it's never a problem if it turns out that, okay, I'm not going to do that. I don't need to know that yet. The air conditioning guy hasn't come yet. You can just delay things. You can delay it until the next hour. You can delay it just arbitrarily, like, hey, I just want to be reminded that it's 2 hours from now, and it amounts to this. That's what it is. You long press and drag something visually down on your calendar. It couldn't be any easier to do. And you'll get a new notification. It'll show up on your lock screen. It'll stay there throughout the hour. And you're good to go. So what else? The other output of this, okay? So this event time is a guidance. It's a guide. It's like a recommendation. But also what this leaves you with, or it keeps your inbox clean in Gmail, because you're going to have actionable things in there that can be completed whenever time allows, whenever you can. And that's excellent. And for a number of reasons, I can give you so many personal anecdotes. It's crazy that I believe, I don't want to jinx myself, but I honestly feel like I am not caught up in the sense that there's nothing in my to-do list, but I am caught up. I feel like what is in my to-do list is kind of like, I don't feel like the number of things in my backlog are doing this. I feel like everything in my to-do list is either like kind of bonus material. Some of the items, like cleaning my bathrooms or something, I might just swipe those away just to get them out of my way if I ever get overwhelmed with it. Let me look. So right now in my inbox, I only have 5 things, and it looks like I can fit. I've got a smaller phone, but it looks like I can fit like at least 7 or 8, maybe even 9 things on my screen. So it's like not even a screen full of things. So that's big for me. If I start to have to scroll, that gets me a little bit uncomfortable. And then what I can do, it's in my power to use these tools to do things. So I could say, you know what? The bathrooms, I just don't want to see the bathrooms. I don't want to see them. They don't need to be done. I retain the right, or reserve the right to, I can always at any time create my own little tier of like must do's, not must do's, and maybe some other third. I can demote a whole category of tasks, or not even a category, like an entire set of tasks. I can just say, you know what? I don't have to do that. There's no damage is going to occur ever for the rest of my life if I do these things. So I might even delete them. So this quick start is, it was very hard for me to get it to this point. Oh yeah. Let's see. I'm left swiping, swipe left when they're complete. And then, okay, and then the last thing is the record activity log, you know, your history. Is preserved, which is part of your memory. It's a huge part of this whole thing. Let's say in calendar. So you can get rid of these things so that you don't have to see them. But you also maintain the history. And there's never anything wrong. I will tell you this right now. You can always go look at your calendar. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I do it. I do it all the time, and it actually is fine. In fact, it's a self-regulating or self kind of fixing, self-repairing kind of problem, because when I look at my calendar and it helps me, then it helps me. If I look at my calendar 10 times and it's unnecessary, I'll get rid of it. And that is the way that I've approached everything that I do. And I really don't want to jinx myself, but I feel like I am just done. Hey, Catherine, what's going on? I think you should be able to comment at any time you want now. I was just doing, I don't even know what this stream is called. I think it's a test. But I am so excited about this new system that I have. And I don't know, I'm sure I just ramble on forever normally. But yeah, I'm stoked. Okay, it says test. I was having trouble getting YouTube, the YouTube stream to start. So I hope it's decent for you. And what else was going on? Oh, so that's why I just said test. Oh, and then I'm also using, I don't know if you realize I'm using a different camera. And I'm on my personal laptop. Well, I was always on my personal laptop. But anyway, yeah, I'm so stoked about this. I'm so stoked about this. And I think I was telling you some things. Let me go back. Yeah, I've got this prosthetic memory thing. And I'm actually 5.0. I was talking the other day about 4.0, which was enormous. It was a huge change from 3.0. And because in 3.0, we can talk about anything you want, by the way, but I'm just so excited about this. In 3.0, I was very task focused, and I was, sort of architecting and putting together my days. And I was so busy and things were so complex that it worked really well until it didn't. And I was really stumped. And then it just dawned on me all at once. I had a really, really bad day. Like there was a straw that broke the camel's back. I may have even talked about this. But I just melted down. I just froze. I could not figure out how to approach this day. And what I've realized is that I need information. I don't need to know exactly what to do. There's nothing wrong with that, though. I use the calendar to sort of map out my days when they are complex, or if I've got a lot of things I'm juggling, or there's dependencies, or really just even for convenience, just setting up my day, it works sometimes, which is why 3.0 was so good. And I can still do 3.0, but anyway, 4.0 was 100% about memory recall. And that was it. I could need to remember something that I need to do, but it has nothing to do with when I need to do it. It's when do I need to remember that I need to do something. Now, if remembering to do something at a certain time is the most convenient, that's fine. Like, no, that's not even a good example. I was about to say like the grocery example and stuff, but I'm not going to get into all that. So 4.0, I could, but 4.0, the change from 3.0 to 4.0, it wasn't 3.0. It was like 3 was pretty mature. So it was not a 3.0. I just started naming these like point versions like this with 4.0. Anyway, from version 3 to version 4, version 4 was all about information. I need to capture and recall information. That's it. What I do with it is up to me. If I can't go to the grocery before 10 a.m. So I will put it on my calendar. If it's a must do, actually that's not version 4, that's version 5. But anyway, you get the idea. It's like, what do I need to know and when? And it's not a commitment to do anything at any particular time. It's just, hey, I want to remember this at 10 o'clock. And I want to remember that I need to go to the grocery. I want to remember that at 10 o'clock because I cannot go to the grocery before 10 o'clock because that's when the meat department opens. And so version 4 was all about delivering information. And then I started to think, what would be the lightest weight, simplest possible solution that would guarantee that you can remember anything that you need to remember. And that's what this is. It's not 5.0 is not only that, but the 5.0 is built upon this very simple sort of foundation. So it's like 4.0, but it's based on this quick start thing, which is this. And the idea is everything I want to know, I want it on my lock screen. I want it on my phone's lock screen. That's where everything is. And I'm not going to look anywhere else. I'm not going to worry about anything else. I don't want to see anything. I also don't want to see anything that I can't address. And that's on an individual basis. It's a little bit like that doesn't mean that I can do all of these 5 things that are on the screen now. But each of the individual things I can do or I want to know. And that's version 5, but it's also how can I get to that lock screen in a simple way, because I am a expert. I mean, there are few people on earth that know iOS, Gmail, and the calendar app better than I do. I'm just telling you. And of those people, there's even fewer people, I think, that are ADHD that know these systems. Um, and that's great, but how can I get this to other people? Like, what is it that I can say in 5 minutes where people can be up and running immediately and just like, as soon as they see this, their lives are, they can just check off, from their bucket list, like my memory problems are solved. The ability to store and recall information is solved. Because this doesn't purport to do anything more than that. And it's easier said than done, but what this will deliver information to you, guaranteed. And so it's like everything I need to remember goes into Gmail, and that is ridiculously easy to do. And then every morning I just look at my inbox, and then anything that I can't do immediately, or I guess anything that I can't do today, I got to get it out of my way. So I snooze anything that is just not actionable. And then the only other thing I have to do is take anything that has to be done today and put it over on the calendar. And that's it. And then the calendar is going to generate, this all sounds very like Captain Obvious, but the difference, I think, is that I have been doing this for 5 years. And if I am sort of circling back to this sort of Captain Obvious sort of thing, at least I think I do people a service, because I see by the way, I deleted Reddit. I deleted Reddit off my phone. But anyway, I spend a lot of time in Reddit trying to help people. I may go back, but I just needed to delete it. But people in Reddit are always asking, what kind of apps and what blah, 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 blah. Well, I can tell you with certainty that there is no app solution for this. There just isn't. I mean, I think there are maybe gamification things and stuff like that. But I just don't think, I just think people need to stay native. Every day there's somebody saying, I'm going to create an app for ADHD. What should it have and stuff. And we all know where that goes. Gmail you can't even rely, and Gmail is like one of the most reliable apps I have ever used, which is why I've been using it for so long. It is, and I've only recently, like within the last year or two, started pushing it too hard, and then the cracks started to reveal themselves. But even Gmail, it's like the labels cannot be trusted, especially if you're moving something out of your inbox, which is essentially, I think it's an archive, and you're going to lose it. And the hypothesis from Apple and the community is that there's something wrong with like the synchronization. But I don't even use the desktop app. So anyway, so I have pushed on these things, but so even the native, what I would consider to be native critical apps. So people are not going to put up with missing their doctor's appointments. Okay. People are not going to put up with their their alarm not waking them up in the morning. People are not going to put up with emails not being delivered, and they're not going to be put up with not knowing whether a text message actually got delivered or not. And so using those native, fundamental 20-year-old technologies is the best bet. And even those like simple, foundational, conventional, in some cases 50-year-old technologies. Uh, Even those are broken. And so what I'm saying here is so specific and so simple. But if you do this, and you put your must-dos on your calendar, the calendar is going to put it on your lock screen. The calendar is going to generate your alerts. And that's it. You will never forget another thing again. And there's only one place to look. Like if I look at my phone right now, what the hell's going on? And I've had a crazy day today. I can't. This week has been total. I'm supposed to be on vacation right now, but this week has been so crazy. My air conditioning's out. School is starting up for my daughter, and that's been just complete and utter shit show for reasons I can't even go into. It's just been a really, really crazy week, but I've been rolling with it. So if I look at my phone right now, it's 2:10 in the afternoon, right? So where should I be? What's supposed to be going on? And I can tell you that I'm probably not doing exactly what I should be doing right now because I'm doing this, but I'm actually doing this because my air conditioning's out and there's not much I can do. I'm going to have to get out of here fairly soon to get to the library. Basically a homeless person. So I'm going to need to go to the library to get into some air conditioning. And then I'll probably come home and jump into the pool. I might do the pool first. And if that doesn't do the trick, then I'll go to the library. But if I look at my phone right now, firstly, I know that I ignored, while I was doing this stream, I ignored any notifications that came through. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go look at my calendar. Even though I shouldn't have to do that, but I have ignored these 1 o'clock items. Although, let's see. Aha, one of these things is drinking water. So I want to get a little bit more water in my day. I just know that I need to do that. And I'm precise about it. I need one more cup of water. Let's do that now. Especially with this situation. It's now 70, 78, almost 79 degrees in here, which means it's probably 200 upstairs. Cheers. This is a bigger cup than it seems. So I just want to, all I need is an extra cup of water every day. And I see that on my calendar for the 1 o'clock hour. Like I said, I'm doing this. I've been doing this for 53 minutes. So I just kind of blew off the 1 o'clock hour. Part of it also is because some of these things I can't do. The other thing in the 1 o'clock hour is going to the library and going to the pool. I've got my air conditioner guy who is not coming back today. He will not be here until tomorrow. He was here twice today, and now he needs to go get a part. And he's just not going to come back today. He will, at earliest, he'll be here tomorrow. Fortunately, I have that in Gmail because that's where everything starts, right? Ooh, yuck. Yeah, that's brutal. My kids, I don't know if any of my kids have air conditioning. I'm not sure if any of my kids have air conditioning. I'm a bad, so much for the world's greatest dad. But yeah, that's brutal. I'm soft. I am a modern, spoiled American in the sense that climate control and hot water are my two of my favorite things. I don't ask for much, but Yeah. So, do you work at home or do you have to go into the office? Because if you can work at home, I guess it's not that horrible, right? Um, you look at this. This is another thing I can do also, but I'm going to drag these things down. I'm going to cheat. I see your. I'm dragging these things down now, and since I'm dragging these things down, it's um, it's going to mess up all of my notifications. So I'm going to get rid of all of these items on my lock screen. I'm just going to swipe them off. And then I'm going to revert to my agenda view on my calendar, which will show me what's going on. Yep. It'll show me everything that I need to remember. So that's another tip. Concierge. How does that work? Give me an example. I know like what a concierge is for a hotel. There was another thing I interacted with a concierge. I think it was like for work. There was like a almost like an assistant in some way. I can't remember what it is. Um, and then do you do that? Are you doing that at home or do you have to talk to other people? Like, how does that work? Um, let's see here. Yeah. So the other thing is I can't cook. So I have I've had on my list all day like to cook, and I can't cook because I don't have air conditioning. It's already insane. So I told the guy, I was like, what should I do? He's like, don't cook. So I'm gonna kill that. The cool thing about another thing about this process, by the way, is you'll see like this history and memory. You can't see it because I'm in the way, but the history and memory or memory is preserved. So everything that I do today is still on my calendar, even though I'm able to swipe things out of my way so I can kind of complete this like the to-do list for this hour kind of thing. So it's really awesome. But in this case, like cooking is not happening, so I just killed it. I don't have to delete things. Um, and I have a safety net because all of these things, when I add them to the calendar, I'm snoozing them for tomorrow inside Gmail. Oh, wait a minute. I don't recognize this. Hang on a second, because this might be the school. Good afternoon, Kevin. Oh my gosh, I know who you are. So, um, well, it's kind of a good thing. It took me a while to figure out you were the right person. Um, but and there's like people at U of L too and all this stuff. So um, I don't know where to start. I think I'm probably overthinking this, but I've got it like almost $2,000 bill from U of L sitting on my desk. And yeah, okay, 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 okay. Oh my God, that's awesome. I'm glad that you, yeah, it's nice to have somebody like you, like in the situation. Okay. Well, I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about. The only thing I just wanted to make sure is because Emma is a great student. She's just excellent, but she can kind of like space out a little bit during presentations and whatever. And I've seen all of, yeah, and I've seen all, I've got everything. I've got all the information. I've got, even went and was able to find the slides out for all this, but so I think the only thing I need to know is, and what I was scared of is that there's something that we need to do, because it said something about her needing to go do all this stuff so that then the scholarship stuff could go to point A and then B and C. And is there anything that we need to do, or is this like all the students are going to be taken care of at the same time? Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. 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 Oh, really? Okay. And they won't charge us any late fees or anything, right? Okay. Gotcha. Perfect.